What is up, you guys, and welcome to the Upper 90 YouTube soccer channel. Today we are talking about the big transfer between Aston Villa and Manchester City, and as you know, it's with Cavs Jack Grealish. So stick around as we talk more about this topic and what it means for Manchester City and Aston Villa. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Mike. I'm here to talk about anything related to the Premier League, Bundesliga, La Liga, Euros, World Cup. But today we're talking about the transfer rumor between Aston Villa and Manchester City for their star player, Jack Grealish. Now, it was just released that the teams themselves have come to the conclusion that 100 million is what they're going to be doing for the transfer between Manchester City and Aston Villa for Jack Grealish. Now, this seems quite steep for any player in the Premier League. Obviously, this would be the most money to spend on any player in the Premier League itself, and this would be the most money that Manchester City have ever spent as of right now, because as we know, they may be spending more money this window for Harry Kane at Tottenham, and it looks like Danny Levy wants at least 150 million for the player, possibly some players along with that. We don't know. But as of right now, Jack Grealish would be the most expensive transfer in the Premier League, and rightfully so. I think he's one of those players that definitely deserves this type of amount for being transferred from one team to the next. He's obviously shown how great of a player he is in the league. He's the most followed player after Eden Hazard had left for Chelsea. As you watch him play week in and week out, he's definitely one of those players that can really bring it all to a game. He can really switch it up and also break down defenses. Not saying Manchester City definitely need a player like that, because they obviously already have a lot of wingers already. They got Raheem Sterling, which he could be on his way out. They got Mahrez, which again, he could also be out. Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, just to name a few. And obviously some of the other players can be moved around. Jesus can be played out in the wing. I haven't seen Torres play out there, but at the same time, he may be able to swing out to those sides as well. And I'm sure they're probably going to bring up some academy players as well. So the fact that Manchester City is already stacked in this position, it really makes me wonder why they brought in Jack Grealish. Because yes, he's definitely better than most of those players. You could argue Phil Foden is probably the same level, even though Phil Foden is a little bit younger, but he's definitely better than Sterling. Mahrez, I think, is a little bit better. It's hard to say. And I think he's a little bit better than Bernardo Silva as of right now. So with them bringing Jack Grealish in, obviously, like I said, they have to get rid of some of these players in, because there's just not enough playing time for all these players. And they're such great players that you'd want to see them play. So I can see one of those or maybe two of them wanting to leave. And I think this is where Tottenham comes into that effect, because again, with Manchester City now paying so much for Jack Grealish, they have to unload some of these players, which then they can give to Tottenham, which they can get Harry Kane back in a transfer. So possibly I could see them maybe offering two players now plus the 100. So if they do 100 plus Sterling and Laporte, I think that could be maybe the driving force to bring Harry Kane to Manchester City, which, if that happens, I'm not too sure how that team is going to be playing, because that is just a stacked team all around. There's not one weak link, and I have a hard time seeing them lose too many games. Obviously, they can have a hiccup here and there. You can pick up injuries along the whole Premier League, obviously, with all the games they play. But if they're all healthy, they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I'm a little bit scared as a Chelsea fan, because I think this is the upcoming season that Chelsea could really push for the title. But if Manchester City keep bringing on players like this, it's going to be very difficult for them to kind of beat them, because obviously Man City is just going to be trailblazing throughout the entire season. Now, Raheem Sterling, I want to go back to him a little bit too, because with him probably getting thrown to the bench with Jack Grealish coming, I could also see him going to other clubs, possibly going back to Liverpool, which I think would be a fairly good idea for him. Obviously, he's used to playing on that left wing. Sadio Mane has not been playing real well this past season, so maybe bringing Sterling to replace him could be a best bet for him. Who knows? He could also probably go to, obviously Tottenham is one of them, but he could probably go to Manchester United as well. I know they also have a few wingers, but he could definitely step up the game on that left side as well, so that would be really interesting. Now, obviously, Aston Villa, if they're going to be getting the 100 million, they are going to reinvest that. Now, they've already signed a few players. They got Emmanuel from Norwich, which again, After seeing that, you kind of realize that they were probably going to be selling one of their players, most likely Jack Grealish, but I don't think anyone really thought about where Jack Grealish was going to be going. Now that the rumors have come out, and it looks like both teams have really come to an agreement for the 100 million, it's really not too surprising to think that Jack Grealish would go to Manchester City, because there's Pep Guardiola, which obviously any player wants to play for this manager, and the way Jack Grealish plays could definitely thrive under the Manchester City or Pep Guardiola tactics, because he is one of those players that can dribble past defenders, run onto space, do some early crosses, play 1-2s real quick with another player. So he's definitely going to be a player that can fit into the system right away, and I think Pep Guardiola is just going to elevate him even more, and that's going to be really surprising to see, because already Jack Grealish is one of those phenomenal players to watch week in and week out. He's one of those players that you really just get up your seat and wonder what he's going to do next. Obviously, Phil Foden does that as well, but now they have a right and left winger doing that, and then possibly Harry Kane up top. It's going to be hard not to tune into each Manchester City game each weekend. So with that said, I am really looking forward to what else comes out with this Premier League, with this transfer window, because obviously this is just the beginning of what's going to be happening, not only with Manchester City, Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham, Arsenal, Leicester, West Ham, all those top clubs, because again, there's going to be a lot of signs, I think, with this window, with the Euros coming out, because we're going to see a lot of talent. Some people probably get injured. I hate to say it, but that's most likely going to happen, and therefore teams are going to have to rebuild some of their squads. So that is all I have for you today. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. That means a lot. So that is all we're talking about today, is the transfer on Jack Grealish to Manchester City from Aston Villa. Comment down below what you think about this and where you think Manchester City will end up this season. We'll see you next time.